Let me show you how to arm knit this gorgeous cable blanket. It looks tricky, but it's actually really simple. Hi there, I'm Anya from Peony and Time. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to share this cable blanket pattern with you. So like I said in the intro, it looks tricky and kind of advanced, but it's actually shockingly simple, even if you're not a very experienced knitter. And it has these really cute faux fur poms on each corner, which I think is just such a fun, gorgeous detail. All right, let's get started. Okay, before we start, take off any rings with sharp edges that might snag your yarn. Alright, now grab your yarn and make a simple slip knot by twisting a loop like this and pulling this yarn through. Snug it down so it fits loosely on your wrist. Now we're just going to make a simple chain like this. Make sure the loops are kind of loose because this chain will become the end of your blanket and you want it to be able to drape nicely. Okay, chain 16 stitches total, including your original slip knot. Now we'll knit the first row that will set up your pattern. This last loop will be our first stitch. The first stitch is a purl, so we'll bring the yarn to the front, reach through the back of the stitch, and pull that yarn through from front to back. Now we'll grab the next loop in our chain here to make our next stitch, which will be a knit stitch. So yarn in the back, then reach through from the front this time and pull the yarn through like this. And try to make these stitches about the same size. Next is a purl stitch. So again, pull the yarn to the front, reach through the back of the stitch, and pull the yarn through from front to back. Next is another purl. Next, we're going to do 8 knit stitches in a row. So again, yarn to the back, reach through the front of this loop, and then pull the yarn through back to front. Now next we'll do 2 more purl stitches. Then 1 knit stitch. And then 1 final purl. Now with hand or arm knitting like this, I work back and forth across the front of the work instead of flipping the project back and forth like you do with classic knitting. So we'll start from the left side now and work back across, knitting all the knit stitches and purling all the purls. And then back across the front again for row 3. Okay, so row 4 will be our first cable row. Exciting! So knit the first 4 stitches in the pattern like we have been. Knit the knits and purl the purls. Then we're going to do what's called a cable 8 forward. So take these first 4 stitches and pull them forward. We're going to skip these for a second. And then you're going to knit these next 4 stitches like this. You'll pull them over so there's no gap in your work, just like this. Now grab these first 4 stitches that we'd saved. You're going to pull them over like this, and then go ahead and knit them. So you've basically just twisted these 8 stitches and kind of stacked them on top of each other. And this will make that beautiful cable twist we want. Okay, now knit the last 4 stitches in the established pattern. And then you'll knit the next 3 rows in our established pattern. One note here, on your first row back after a cable row, it's a good idea to count the stitches to make sure that you don't miss any stitches that might be tucked out of sight from doing the cable. And here you can see the cable twist really clearly. Cool, right? Our pattern is really starting to shape up. Okay, so we did the cable row, then we did 3 rows in the established pattern of knitting the knit stitches, purling the purls. Now it's time for another cable row. So again, knit the first 4 stitches in our established pattern. Then pull these 4 stitches to the front. Knit the next 4 stitches. And then pull these 4 saved stitches over and knit them. Then finish the row like we have been. And now we'll just repeat this sequence of knit 3 rows in the established pattern, then every 4th row is a cable row. And continue doing this until you only have enough yarn left for about 1 more row. Then knit across in the regular pattern, knitting the knits and purling the purls. But we'll make these stitches just a little bit larger because this is going to be our bind off row. Alright, now go back to the side where we started this last row. Take the last 2 stitches and slip this first stitch over top of the next one. Then you'll just continue doing that process across the row until you've used up all of the stitches. Then, just pull the yarn tail through this last stitch and snug it down to tie off the project. Now you'll weave in the end so that it disappears into the work. How beautiful does this look? Okay, now go back to the beginning and weave in that end too. And now it's time to sew on the poms. Grab some sturdy thread or yarn in a color similar to your blanket yarn. I really like these poms because the little elastic loops make them super easy to attach. Now just securely sew the pom to the corner of your blanket. I looped my heavy thread through the pom elastic and the blanket several times so that it was nice and sturdy. Now trim off those ends, and then repeat this process on the other 3 corners. And you're done! Alright, I hope that was easy and clear. Drop a comment below if you have a question. If you do make your own cable giant yarn blanket, I would love to see it. Please tag me in your Instagram photos at Peony and Time, and I would love to take a look at those. Alright, thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye.